Test, test. Hello, all. Welcome to Session 2 Fortnite Competitive Development Camp. Hope you all having a great day today. It is Wednesday. Yes, please send Coach Doe to your energy. I could always use it. All right, let's go through our plan for today. As always, a three-part session. Part 1 today, we're going to be talking about the 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto Principle. Part two, we're going to go through some shooting strategies, shoot and move, timing of different shooting, and then we're going to talk about high ground retakes. Thank you, Nightbot, for the support, as always. And then in part three, we're going to stick with our box fight tournament to begin, and then we'll end on Zone Wars. And we'll see what servers we're going to play on. We'll probably do a mix again. All right, let's get right into it. The whole thing should go about an hour 10, hour 15 today. And as always, thank you for the compliment football. It only took me 2 hours to shave today. As always, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. That's the great part about this, is it's interactive. So especially during that part two, I will go through almost any strategy you want to talk about. So bring it up and we'll go right through it. So part one, the Pareto principle. So I've known about this idea, this concept, for about 6 or 7 years now. And the more I think about it, the more it's a part of my life, the more I see it in the world. And it's named after the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto. And the first one of the things that he noted was 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. And since then, many people have noticed this idea. Now, it's not always 80-20. It might be 90-10. It might be 99-1. But the idea, the concept is that most of the results will come from a small portion. Or another way to think about it, most of your worries come from a small portion of your life. In anything, sports, most of your results come from a small portion of the work you're putting in. Now, sometimes this might not always be true. Sometimes you're a well-rounded approach and you're making gains from something in a bunch of different areas. But a lot of this times this is true. So how does this apply to esports? The number one thing is with your practice routine. You might do your practice routine from your practice routine, you're going to get a large part of your results. If you were to play games in Fortnite the entire time, you're not going to get a lot of results in terms of getting better. However, from that small portion in the beginning, let's say it's 10% of your playtime, 15% of your playtime, of your practice, your training, that's where you're going to get your results. So I hope that made sense, and I can't stress this enough. You will find this in so many different areas of your life. When I would study for a test, I would notice that I needed to find a small portion of whatever I was studying. There were certain things I needed to study. I didn't need to study every single thing on the test. I didn't need to study 100% of the content. There was a small portion of the content that I really needed to study, and that was what was going to make me do better on the test. Instead of the opposite approach, oh, I have to study this thing I already know. I have to study every single little detail on the study guide. That's simply not true. If you were a part of the class at all, you would know a lot of that stuff already. You might know 50% of it right off the bat. You're going to get a 50% on the test without studying. But if you just study that 20% that you need to study, that's going to bring you from that 50% to your 80, to your 90, to your 95 on the test. So this idea really applies across many different areas. And like I said, in business, this is really big. My undergraduate degree, my first college degree was in business, and you see this all the time. Businesses, they get a large part of their sales from a small percentage of their clients. And that's not necessarily just like they get it from the richest clients. They get it from a certain group of people. They might get 80% of their results from people who live in the town. There's a lot of different ways to think about this. And that is the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. So I really urge you to think about this and notice this in the world as it comes up. And it's really an interesting and weird idea, but you see it so much. So once again, I'm going to connect it a little bit more to Fortnite. I want you to think about this and type in the chat how you can apply this to esports, to normal sports. It applies as well. How can we apply this to esports in life? So I just want to take you a minute to think about that. And in a second, we're going to move on to part two in a little bit here. Note, there was an update. So if you did not update your Fortnite, make sure you do that in time for the play along and our tournament at the end. All right, if we don't have any questions, we're going to get right into it. I wanted to keep it short today, and as we go along, maybe I'll come up with more relations, connections to this idea. But I think in learning, this is so huge. People waste so much time in learning, or if they want to get better at something, they don't know how to get better, so they just do the same stuff they're doing. Big streamers, most views come from top streamers. Oh, that is a. Oh, I see what you're saying. So for Twitch, 80% of the views come from probably 5% of the streamers, if that. That is a perfect example, Maldo. Well done, sir. The mongrel tunnel strat. Maybe. I have to. Wasn't that the one? Didn't we go over that one last week? Where was the stairs behind you in the edit through? I love that example, Maldo. You got me thinking about that one. YouTubers, I imagine 80% of the views come from the top 20% of YouTubers. I can almost guarantee that one is true, if it's not even crazier, where it's like 90% of the views go to the top 5%. Occasionally someone goes viral who didn't have a big following, but that one's probably pretty true. One thing I really liked about this Pareto principle, I forgot to mention, Wilfred Pareto, he made this connection of the 80% of land is owned by 20% of the population. This was 1896. So a lot of people, when they think of history, they think, oh, you can learn some stuff from history. History is kind of cool, Sometimes it's boring. History, I mean, it gives us perspective, and there's so much to learn from history. As a kid, you learn a little bit in history class, and as you get older and through the grades, they teach you different lessons, the Revolution, World War I and II. The amount of history there is to learn out there is amazing. There is so much, so many different perspectives, so many stories. That's one of my favorite things to listen to on a podcast is history type podcasts, because you can just get deep, deep, deep into one story, one person, one time area, and there's just so much to learn. All right, Austin, for the first section, we're going to be doing a play along, so we will not be in the same lobby for the first section. In about 20 minutes, we'll probably be sending out invites. All right, we're going to hop right into creative. Oh, and as this is going up, I'll bring up our. All right, so shoot and move strategies can decrease bloom. Talk about timing, and then we're going to go to high ground retakes. A couple simple ones, and then one or two fancy ones. What do we do if we want to get into streaming? There are so many ways to get into streaming. Number one, you got to figure out your setup, whether you're streaming on an Xbox, PC. You got to figure out all the details there. It's actually a lot easier than you think. I was always kind of scared to stream because of the stuff you got, all the stuff you got to do. But then I realized all I had to do was click one thing on my Xbox and I was streaming. It's so much easier than you might expect, depending on what you want to do. Well, number one thing I'd say is just start streaming if you can. It's good. We got in-game noises today. All right. Keep that kind of low for you. All right. My Twitch is twitch.tv/CoachStody. Alright, as always, I always recommend getting a couple guns for your building strategies. It's really important to be able to switch to your guns, the gun you want to do, while building. So I always do this. I see a lot of people free build without their guns ready to go. Alright, so one concept I want to talk about today, we're going to go to the shooting range for this one. Is shooting and moving. If you are shooting, if I'm shooting at somebody over here, obviously I never want to just do this. One, you're going to get sniped. Two, it actually can decrease your bloom to crouch and move. Sometimes you want to crouch move just a little bit so you can keep this one shot accuracy. As you can see, if I'm not aimed in here, my accuracy is not perfect. I'm aimed in, that crosshair just gets a little bit smaller and it's pinpoint. So using this to your advantage, one shot accuracy and moving, you can see I can move a little bit and do it. And also, a lot of people believe that crouching and uncrouching while doing this, along with strafing, moving left and right, can decrease bloom. There's been people who have tested this, and they say it does. Regardless of whether or not that's true, or if it's a perfect science and really does increase your bloom or decrease your bloom, it's so helpful to not getting shot. So my kind of rule I live by is never shoot from the same spot twice. So I'm going to shoot here. I might take 3 or 4 shots, crouching, uncrouching, strafing, and then my next shot, I'm either going to pop up on this side. I might make a fake edit, pop out on this side. Regardless, you never want to just stand here. See it all the time. Yes, if you're just shooting like this, you might have a little bit better accuracy, but if you want to win the game, it's not the best move. So we're just going to want you all to test this out. Also, the muscle memory of it, to be able to crouch and shoot and move around is huge. Whether it's in a short range fight, whether I'm in a box fight with this guy right here, I don't want to just stand here or hold my crosshair, crouching especially. Crouching is the worst because you move slower. I would at the least want to be here. I think ideally I'd want to be moving around the whole time while shooting, maybe making a little fake, timing up their shots. For example, if they do one shot and you see they're lining up a second shotgun shot, like, you know how fast that's going to go. That is the fastest I can shoot that shotgun. So timing it up with their shotgun, if they have the SMG and they're just spraying the SMG, that doesn't apply as much. But if they're going to go for that second shotgun shot, it's always good to think about the timing of their shot. Alright, so if I was shooting here, once again, never want to just be here. This is also a good practice routine I like. I brought this up last time. It's not tracking, but it's a great way to work on your aim, get used to your aim and your sensitivity. So if I was in a fight here, I'd probably, if I made this edit here, I might pop here, be crouching, uncrouching, quick reset. This can be a really good one to practice crouching or practicing shooting and then resetting. A lot of people don't do this type of practice. This is not very standard. Some people do like different aiming practice, whether it's tracking or you doing some sort of aiming course. But I think mixing up your editing and your shooting, you could practice your box fight shots here. Your box fight shots. There's so many different ones you can work on here. One that I'm trying to work on is this kind of ghost peek. So you are behind a roof. You're here, and right now I can't shoot through the roof. Also, I really can't be shot. This thing is blocking me. But if I pop up, oh, that wasn't very good. Clearly, got to work on this one. Now for this one, I probably wouldn't want to move out to my right here. Why? Because then look how much I am exposed. But if you crouch and uncrouch here, you're exposed very little. So you could also do this from a high ground perspective. So if I got the high ground here, I like this one sometimes. Obviously, it is OP. Yeah, it really is. So what I might do is jump and shoot. This one, obviously, I'm not going to have the best accuracy. As you can see, I don't have that my one-shot accuracy when I do this. But this can be a useful strategy. Sometimes I will maybe fake them out a little bit over here and then pop out. Like I said, not perfect accuracy, but it can really be useful. 1 second, just got to fix something. Audio. Test. Okay, that's much better. Alright, so we covered shooting while moving, the timing of it. Oh, okay, yes, I wanted to talk about this for edits. So I believe I touched on this last week, but I thought it'd be helpful to go back on it again and use these guys to show it. So if he's here, I would never want to just make this edit and be right here. I would always want to be popping out here. But one I might do is, he's going to dig it. If he has his edit out there, I'm always popping through. If he has his SMG and I have my shotgun, I might line it up. But if he has a shotgun, I never want to pop out here. But what I could do is I make this edit. This one I've been trying to work on. Fake, like I'm going to pop through. Once again, I make this edit, fake. Been loving that one. Another version of that is I make this edit, like I'm going to pop up on this guy. I fake, I reset, make it again. I love these type of double window edits. I could make this, pop out, make this one. Oh, this guy's, I'm going to have to make brick here. This kind of touches on a detail here, how quickly you can lose your wall if it's wood. But if I'm brick here, not as well. This is a classic one people like to work on, is the peak shot from here. But there's so many different ones to work on, and a lot of people only work on these in games. So I think working on these in creative is so huge. This kind of going back to the 80-20 rule. If I only do this in games, I'm not going to get a lot of results. But if I do this for just a little bit at the beginning of my practice, I think that's going to give me way more results, and I'm going to get way better than I would otherwise. All right, I think that I kind of touched on the shoot and move strategy. Ooh, okay, I got one more, and then we'll move into high ground retake. So if this guy takes my wall here, one move I've been really is timing up my break through his wall. So he took my wall here. I'm lining up my shot with my shotgun. A lot of times right when he's going to shoot through it or it gets really low, I'm going to time up my SMG and burst through it. And then use that crouch and move strategy. That was a pretty solid demonstration. I'll do it one more time on another one of these guys. But timing up your break through the wall. Oh my, we got two guys here. So timing it up and my movement after. Now if I've timed this up and I just stand here like that, yes, I had good accuracy. Yes, I got through. But his ability to make a shotgun shot there is dramatically increased. But if I'm doing this, I'm here, he's trying to line up his wall, or his shots, trying to spam through. If I'm here and varying up my crouching movements, that's going to help me win the fight much more. Now sometimes, you know, you're against lesser players, sure, can you stand there and line up your shot? But when you're going at a high level, when you're really trying to be your best, you have to be able to, it's called strafing in games. Wow, that guy can really strafe well. It applies to Call of Duty, all those other types of shooter games. The ability to strafe well, to move back and forth well, is really deceiving. In a lot of other games, there's like you can crouch or prone, where prone is where you lay down, and people will mix that in a lot. So I'm fighting this guy over here. I don't just want to stand here. I want to crouch, uncrouch, especially with the timing of the shot. So, for example, I know he's about to shoot his next shotgun. Did that bot really just say ow? That's crazy. So if I know he's about to shoot a shotgun shot, I might kind of stand here for a second, and then last second, woo, crouch. So that might be kind of basic. You might think it's kind of basic, but the timing of it can be super high level. So I think of Nick Merckx, I think of Aiden, two controller players, really popular guys, but their strafing abilities and their aim and their short range shooting mechanics are amazing. Like their crouch timing, the way they're dodging people, the way they're making edits and making fake moves here are just next level. A lot of even the best players, are they good at that? Sure, but they're not as good as those guys. Those guys are just, there's so many levels. Welcome, Pizza Boy, welcome. I love your emote choice, Esports Camps. All right, so we're going to move into high ground retakes. So I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with this. There are so many. I know a 90 isn't really considered a high ground retake, but in my view, it kind of is. Any move that gets you height is a high ground retake, in my opinion. There's so many different ways to do it. Is it a good shot when you edit an upper right hand triangle and then bottom left and get a good shot, but when you make the edit, don't reset it? I'm going to have to play that one for a second. It's a good strat when you edit upper right triangle, so this one, and the bottom, and then edit the bottom left and get a good shot. Oh, okay. So this one I've been really liking lately. If someone is in this box, I'll make a window edit, reset, and then this one. Now, if they're standing right here at me, they have full visual. But if they're like over here, you can see that little red X there. That means I can't shoot through this wall right now. It depends on where it's going to. Sometimes it pops up. Usually pops up when you're here. You can see the X says I can't do it. And you can see how it pops up sometimes, but not all the time. And it's to let you know that you can't shoot over. But if I make this edit, I'll make this one. If they're in this back corner, their ability to shoot me is really weak, especially if I have like a roof or something. So I like making this one a lot. So I'll make a. Usually after the edit, you want to reset. Not always, but a lot of times after an edit, you want to reset. One, it blocks their shot, and then you can make a different play from there. A lot of times you reset, they shoot, and then you can get another shot, or you can make a whole wall again. So my big thing with that is you got to practice it. You got to find your certain moves. Like I said, so right now one big move for me is this one. I do that one often. Good question. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know. All right, so back to high ground retakes. There are so many. You got to, once again, got to find the ones that work for you. There's one of the big concepts that I almost always have to coach with people is blocking while building up. So if I'm ripping 90s, if I'm just doing 90s right now, I haven't done any 90s today yet, I'm not blocked off right now. Anybody above me, welcome me, Dizzy. Anybody above me can shoot me when I'm ripping 90s. If they have the right angle, which most of the time they will, because the 90 isn't blocked off. So the idea of blocking off while building up. One example of that could just be here. Sometimes this can be a super helpful one. If they see you hit 2 of those, they're probably going to assume or guess you're going to do it again, and then it'll hit you. So when someone's doing something like that, usually I'll either just like spam through it, since it's when they make that edit, it makes the wall low. So for example, they're doing this, the wall gets really low, so I'm able to spam and I know that's going to happen. So that can actually be a really good time if you're the person above to shoot them, because that's not a perfect blocking off while building up. It can take that one shot though. So sometimes, as we talked about last week with the shoot build, sometimes all it takes is one wall, one build to not take damage. That's one thing I really like about this game. How you can use builds to not take damage. In any game, it's good to not take damage, right? But builds give you this unique ability to block it off. So while you're building up, I want you to think about this. How can I block off? So my favorite one, we talked about this last week, is this one. If I'm here, they have to shoot one of these down. And even if they shoot one of these down, if I'm over here, they can't block it. Or they still can't hit me. Even if they shoot this down, if I see they're going to start to shoot this down, it's getting weak, I just make one wall. Occasionally I'll have to make this as well, but not always. So this idea of blocking off while building up. So my go-to, I've been using this one since like season 4, season 5, is just this scissors ramp. And then from here, you can do a lot of different strategies. One example of that kind of talks about, or one perfect example of how you can still get shot while doing a high ground retake like this is the 90. So people will do a 90 from here. They'll do a classic 90 and then go here. But as you can see, if someone's above me right here, they can shoot me. Now if I do this instead, I get here, I make this, and I make a wall here and a flat here. Very unlikely they're going to get me. Alright, so once again, very basic strategy, but there are so many levels to this, and I'll show some fancier ones in a second. So I'm here. I make one extra one here, and that. So that's one, and then from here you can do so many different moves. I don't really do this one as much anymore because I really like the roof edit one, which is here. And as you can see from here, they have to shoot this to hurt you, and it also blocks you off. One good thing about this one, once I get here, if I don't have a specific move in mind, yes, there's so many rotate moves from here. One I've been kind of working on is reset and then rotate and go up. But that's not really my favorite one right now. So my go-to from here is checking out what they're doing, or making this, just making this and then doing a side jump as I hit the side jump perfectly. I'm here. I might hit that. Now that one isn't a perfect example of again blocking off while building up. However, it's deceiving and not what people expect. So as always, when you can do something that people are not expecting, that gives you a split-second advantage. Now, at a high level, when I do this a lot of the times, in like arena or stuff like that, the good players really react quickly. So they might get thrown off for a second with this, but whatever I'm doing here, that wasn't very clean. But maybe once I get right about here, they're starting to spin around. However, that gave me just a second to jump on them. So whether I'm gonna get a shot on them, shoot build, or it might make me even with them. So I might not have taken high ground, but I made it even, and I also threw them off. So although it's great to deceive people, throwing them off and kind of making them a little nervous can change the whole scope of the fight. So I come here, I make this, I do some sort of weird jump to throw them off, I pop out over here, they don't know where I'm at right now, and then right when I'm here, they see me. They go, oh no, I thought he was over here. That just gives them a little bit of doubt. That kind of goes to like mindset and throwing off somebody's confidence. Sometimes in sports, all you need is one player to step up and change the momentum a little bit, and how quickly that can change the whole fight. For another example of that, I'm here, I'm doing one of my classic peak shots we talked about last week, and I hit a 20 on them. Even if it's a 20 out of 200, that can change the whole fight. They were feeling confident. They were feeling, oh, this guy's horrible. I got him. Then you hit that, and they go, okay, all right, and then they're a little bit nervous. They gotta pop a half. They think about, oh, I lost 20. Maybe I gotta pop a half shield. So just putting that little bit of doubt in them through a high ground retake and taking it, or just being even with them. So one more time. Sometimes I'll just keep going up and then or do a 180. Obviously not the best strategy all the time, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And in duos, this gets a lot more complicated. As always, your building strategies, it depends on the game mode. So in duos, sometimes your role is to just distract people. Actually, a lot of times your role in duos is to distract people. So I might be here. I might just chill up here for a second while my teammate gets a shot. He gets a shot. I keep going up. There's so many moves to go from there. But the key detail is I didn't get shot. So anytime you can build up and not get shot, you're continuing the fight. Maybe you waste a little bit of mats, but it's going to change the scope of the fight rather than you just sitting at the bottom or you building up, you ripping a 90 and then you get shot. Hope that made sense. If you guys have any questions about that, I'm going to cover a couple more here. So real quick, I'll just go through a quick run through the 90s. I know you guys, most of you know these. The one I'm working on the most is kind of the reverse 90. So the classic 90, come up here, jump. I'm working on the reverse 90 into a classic 90, which looks like this. Once again, so I'm going the opposite way. Rather than going this way, I'm sweeping this way. And there's something about the Fortnite mechanics that makes this one a little bit faster sometimes. Didn't hit it perfect there. One more time. That's kind of what that one looks like. So example of what I might do from here. So I hit that. I hit my 90. I might block off and then do a side jump. This is my favorite side jump I'm working on and trying to master, is making this flat and then immediately stairs above, stairs below into one of these strategies. One other side jump I like to do from here is I make this, or I don't even make the edit, and then I make this wall. This wall also protects if they decide to shoot down this stair, but then I go here. Really one of my favorite. I just learned a new side jump yesterday from my good friend Zach. I'll show you all this one. So for this one, this kind of is another strategy that can block off. So he was saying a lot of times when people do side jumps, I can still get shot if I from this angle or over here. Even if I made the stairs this way, I can still get shot if this guy's above me, potentially, depending on the angle. However, if instead on my side jump I do this. So I'm here. I make a flat, stairs, and then a roof. I am just working on this one. And then this roof. Absolutely perfect. Side jumps are so tough in the beginning. And there's so many different ones to them, the different angles at which you can do it. This one, let's see if I can hit this perfect. This is what it should look like. You don't have to have this, but as you can see, I'm blocked off from everybody over here. Even from those guys up top there, it'd be really tough to hit this shot. And if I really want to get crazy with it, I can make an extra wall. But a lot of different side jumps. It is almost an essential move now. You're in a fight, someone roofs or flats you. The classic move now is to hit a side jump and do something. So if you haven't practiced side jumps, you can make walls above the roof. Oh, interesting. It is. Let's check it out. So I make the roof here. Oh, yes. Yeah, you could. Yes, so from here you could make the walls. You can make a here, reset, and then keep going. There's so many different ones. This is what I'm really trying to work on my build. So I'm going up. Be able to do this quick and get the walls. Just that flick of getting everything around you as needed. And that makes me think of another basic strategy. So this is kind of an example of Pareto rule. You have to do this strategy I'm about to discuss so often in Fortnite, yet nobody practices it in creative. I imagine less than 5% of players practice this in creative, and what it is healing after you get hit. So I'm fighting somebody here, I'm on a stairs, whatever, I'm taking shots, and I get hit. What am I going to do from here? One, I'm going to block off my top. I might just wall up here, but a lot of times most people are going to go one more over and then build. This is kind of my go-to right now, is making a stairs behind me. So I get hit. Once again, I'm fighting here, I get hit. I might reset this immediately. Might have to do an edit. Wall, flat, wall, roof. And I just have to get right about here to make my stairs. Obviously, if I might need that. Once again, I'm here. I get shot. I go over. Boom. Sometimes, obviously, you're going to have to place the flat if you're on a mid-level. So I was here. I get shot. Boom. Doing this quickly. I think it's super important. Like I said, nobody practices this. One mistake I see a lot of pro players make about this, I actually made a TikTok about this recently, is this is what they do. They get shot, they block, they go here, and then they just stand here and heal. As you can see, if someone's on this side, another player, a third party, or whoever is, they can just shoot through this. You'll also see people do a roof, which is fine, especially if you do the edit through. I like this a lot. But it's a little bit tougher, I think, than if you just do the stairs running away. Everyone has their preference to this. A lot of people don't like stairs, but I really do. So I'm doing this one a lot. I can make edits immediately after if I need to, or rotate it, jump up, go up. But I think this is a good one to practice. If you haven't practiced this one, really clean it up. What's your ad? My ad is at Coach Doty on Epic. So here. Highly recommend this one. If you want to do the roof version, that's fine as well. If you really like roofs, but practicing this edit down quickly, or you could just practice the place down quickly. So you get here, you stand in the middle, crouch. One negative about this, if you do decide to do this one, is some people will spam this, especially if this is wood. Not so good. Oh, TikTok is the same. It's Coach Doty on TikTok. One more time. You could jump on the roof, hold here, and then if you really need to, make a quick edit and then do it. Or another level to this is, I'll do this often in fights, is I get shot here, whatever, I'll go over, I'll make my 1x1, I'll edit down one more. And as you can see, since I was one box over, I had this one made already, it just adds to the deception of it. If you really want to get crazy, you could edit back up, or you could edit down and another one over if you really want to waste mats. Depending on the situation, a lot of people say you're wasting mats, and yes, that is a thing. However, if you just took 120 damage, sometimes you want to waste mats. You could make the opposite argument. You could say you're not using enough mats. If you could get hit for 120 or 150 over here, and then you just do this, I think you're not using enough mats. Maybe if you did this, that'd be a little bit better, because that gives you that one extra layer of protection. But I really do think a lot of people are not using enough mats when they get hit. The classic one now, you see this all the time with pro players, they get hit and they go 1 or 2 over. If they're still getting spammed, they'll go over a third one. So yes, that's a good one to practice. Really cleaning that up. If I get shot. Wow, I just used a lot of math there. But even so, if it saved my life, it's probably worth it. Alright, before we're going to do about 2 or 3 more minutes. Anyone have any questions? Any strategies you want me to go over right now? I will do it. So I'll give it about a minute. You could think of any strategy you want me to cover real quick, or concept or idea, and then we're going to start box fights, zone wars. Quick review, we talked about Pareto principle, 80-20. Really finding that small percentage of thing you need to work on that's going to give you the most results. And like I said, that applies to everywhere. I think in sports it's so huge. I think for me, lacrosse, every season I had something that was that 20% of thing that I thought was going to give me the biggest results. And I could break it down for you. Freshman year, I had just started lacrosse. The number one thing I needed to work on was my stick skills, how good I was with the stick. Sophomore year of high school, I needed to work on my checking, hitting people with the stick. Junior year, I worked on my ground balls and my checking. Senior year, it was still check. I think it was improving my physicality and probably checking. College, I could go through it again. There was always one thing every season that I identified. I thought about it. I broke it down. And then I said, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. I think this is what's going to give me the most results going for next year. So anything you want to improve on, whether it's math, whether it's a specific sport, try and identify that. We talked about deconstructing something last week. Find the small thing you need to work on, and it'll probably give you more results than you would if you just worked on everything. Work on everything a lot of time is just a lack of focus on the things that you actually need to do. All right, so we talked about those shoot and move strategies, how crouching and strafing can decrease bloom, and it also can decrease your chances of getting hit. Never pop out from the same spot twice, especially end game. End game, a lot of people like to do that. They're getting their sprays. End game, I'd rather just survive tunnel, make it to that last 5 or 6. It's not worth beaming people all the time. End game. And the timing of your moves, and you're timing up with their shotgun, timing up with your if they're taking your wall, timing up. Oh, I want to go over this one more time because I think this one's great. So a lot of times I'm here, someone takes my wall, maybe I'm on this, I'm here, they take my wall. Right as they take it, I might reset. That's good timing right there. If they take my wall and I immediately reset this, I'm trying to take this, immediately reset, that was good timing by me. If they take my wall and I'm here and then I wait a second, they make the window edit, they get a shot and then I reset, that would be bad timing. But the opposite example of the pushing it, they take my wall, I'm here, I'm trying to make a window edit, they take it, right as they take it. Not the best move there, but that can work if they already had a roof in it, or it can't work. Right as they take it. My friends wondering if you can join the lobby. Yeah, football, you can join. All right, we're going to start sending out invites here in a second. We're going to start on West. Start on West today. Start sending out some invites. All right, Maldo's in creative. Chicken. All right. You could just remind me of your gamer tag. Dairy's in there. Curly. We use Zenetics FN. If you guys could just remind me of your epic name in the chat, I'm going to pull up the list and start sending out some invites. Oh, Zenetics, yes. Test, hello.
Hello, what's up, Coach?
Not much, not much.
That's the friend I asked about.
Okay, sounds good.
He doesn't have a mic because his controller can't take.
Yeah, all good. No mic is fine. All right. Invite you again. Yeah, sure, Maldo. I got you. All right, we're gonna take about 2 minutes to group up. Nice, nice. Um, Austin, didn't I invite you? Yes, we got more people this time. Great success. Uh, yes, as long as they're keeping it respectful in the chat. Wow, look at this lobby. All right, I'm gonna hop back to. I'm gonna leave creative and restart it. All right, today we're gonna start with box fight, the tournament. Hey, congrats, congrats. All right, we'll take about 1 more minute here. See if we can get anyone else in. All right, if anyone could note, what was most helpful for you in that build along session? Was there anything in particular that was helpful? Nothing? Okay. Hello, hello. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, sorry, who was that? Austin, I just gotta reinvite you. Or Daried. All right, let's do this, guys. We're gonna start on west. We'll end on east. Just ready up, please. No game audio. Yes, I turned the game audio off to start. So we got some other people in the chat. To be honest, I'll probably keep it off for the zone marches. It can get so crazy. Thanks for the heads up. You dizzy? I mean, I've heard people yell many things during zone wars and box fight. It's such an intense, especially this 1v1 game mode. Drafty Bat and Curly, please ready up. Drafty Bet, Drafty Bet. All right, let's do this. Classic, classic. I recently had to clean my keyboard because of that. 6 Chick-fil-A sandwiches? Oh my. All right, our next topic next week will be nutrition. Just kidding. Yes, thank you, Dizzy. I'm just going to keep it up just so we can focus on commentating and watching. I know um, it might not be as good with it, but just want to keep it positive. Hey. All right, we're in the box fight. You guys, we might be should have waited a little bit. Apologize for that. We got mostly everybody in here. Fantastic. All right, let's keep it positive. No toxicity. Let's try and help each other get better. Every loss, you might think it's a loss, it's an opportunity to learn. Myself included. My favorite peak shots right here to start at these box fight. You line up a shot with third party. Shoot Bill. Now there, after he made his shotgun, I kept it going because I noticed he didn't switch to his shotgun or to his AR. So yeah, that's a timing one. I also hit that one edit I was talking about where I hit that bottom corner and I did a shot reset. That was a good time for it. Okay, we got someone. I was trying to be sneaky with it. Didn't work out. Oh, so that would have been a good example of I could have got that shot while he was tunneling or rotating, but I was not ready for it. Oh! Poor decision by me. Wow. Love the aim, Synetics. Good timing as well. Me and Synetics. Oh, Zenetics with the win. I got a little undisciplined there. Decided to go for it. We got MSF Chicken versus Zenetics. Oh, believe that was an accident there. Happens. Wow, this skin is tremendous. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I guess that is a duck. Close to a chicken, though. Close enough. No, I like to make that half star edit, but I like to time it up with their edit. Not sure what that one would be. Alright, let's try and push the pace a little bit. Oh, I like that edit. Oh. Oh, good effort there, chicken, on the moving around. Okay, sounds good, Maldo. We're gonna go for about another 15. Oh, me versus chicken. Me versus chicken. That was you, chicken? Alright, let's see it. I didn't get any guns this round. Huh. Did other people get guns and are able to fight? Test, test. Anybody there? Alright, let's go back to hub. Let's reset it. Not sure. I've never had that happen. I'm going to make another one on the far right when you re-enter. The far right. See a couple people scooting on over here. Very nice. That is one of the best. All right, chicken, if we go again, you could show me. Hey, it's me versus chicken again. All right, perfect. All right, so you said if you make the corner edit, and then what? I know you gotta wait. So, oh, okay. Yeah, anytime you can make an edit and then do something else that throws them off is great. Whether it's this, that. Once again, that kind of goes back to the idea of timing and doing it at the right time. Because if you do it and then they don't fall for the fake, and then you do that and then they're ready. Because technically, anytime you're making an edit, they have an advantage. Not all the time, but like for example, if I'm making a window edit, right when I finish this edit, there's that half a second, not even half a second, where you can shoot. But for this one, obviously, they can't shoot me because I'm here. But if I do try and make a move, then they can't. So just realizing whether or not they fell for the fake. It kind of goes to one of my favorite sport quotes. Play what you see, not what you think. So if you're here thinking, oh, I'm going to hit them with this move, but you didn't notice. I wouldn't say that's directly the same thing, but it's related to it. So playing what you see, not what you think. So for example, if I'm here and you have a wall, if I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna axe his wall and take it, but right as I make my first axe, you make an edit, or right as I make my like then you just are gonna win the fight. So that's me playing. That's me just thinking I'm gonna take your wall rather than playing what I see and reacting to you. All right, let's play it in 3, 2, 1. Sorry everyone for the delay. I thought that was a good question. Now there was like two or three examples within that fight where I was thinking, I was planning what move I was going to do. Sometimes planning your move, even in sports, if you're going to dodge someone, you're going to try and fake them out. Planning your move can be helpful, but you always got to react. If you don't react, um, they might react and do the right thing. This is a good way to get better. Yes, I love this one. All right, we got somebody else still fighting, I believe. Good. Push, push. All right. Oh, me versus Netics. His timing is so good. Timing and aim is so good, Zenetics. Love it. So that was a perfect example. Technically, he has the advantage there when I make that edit. And he did a good job of it. I went for that. I tried to go for that move that I was trying to show earlier. Well done, Zenetics, where I time up my spam through his wall in the movement, but I just kind of over pursued and I didn't time it up well. Zenetics, really liking your game, man. All right, we'll do like 3 or 4 more here, and then we'll switch. Hey. All right, we will move to a different map because I don't know what's happened with this one. I've been doing this one for months, and it never. So we'll do. It's gonna be far left this time. Far left. We're gonna do the box fight / zone wars for a couple rounds. How many people in the lobby are on east? Is anyone here who's on east? If you could type. Okay. If you are on east, type it in chat. Okay, you are on east. Okay. All right, we'll do 5 of these, and then we'll move on to east for the last few minutes. Really, you don't get good one. Whoever's got leader, if you could press E or start it here in a second. Thank you. I apologize, Drafty Bat. So right here, I made these just so I could get some angles, see what's going on, get some piece control. These minis could be huge. Max up. I mean, since I have extra mats, I probably want to... Oh, good reactions, chicken. I'm going to create space. I know they're both over there. Sometimes creating space, making other people's fight is such a strong move. I saw something recently watching some of the FNCS tournament about making people fight endgame. When it's you versus 2 others, 1v2 2 solos, making them fight. How do I make these guys fight? For me, a lot of the time, how I make people fight is my rotate. So I make a really strong rotate to zone or whatever it may be. Like in this example, I'm rotating left so that I'm not near them. Oh, good fight, Zenetics. Good fight. I'm going to see if I can find other examples here of making other people fight. Zone Wars is a perfect one. I'm going to go for that 90. uh, Good fight, good fight. Right here, how do I make them fight? Well, that's one. Thanks for the heads up. Good fight, Zenetics. Good fight. Yes, I do have a creator code. It is the Dodes. Hashtag ad. The DODES. All one word. It actually took me like 8 tries to get my creator code. Alright, we'll do 2 more after this one. So 1 more box fight after this one, and then we'll switch for some people. Oh, great fight, great fight. Hey, yes, thank you, Nightbot. If you guys attended and enjoyed this, really appreciate you filled out the survey. It is in the chat. Check out responses. Maybe make sure for next time, if you have any questions, that might be a requirement for next time. Fill out some questions or come up with a really good question, something that you want to work on. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. Ah, good fight, Zenetics. I went for the sneaky spin around him here. He blocked me off. That was a perfect example of how I did a side jump and he still hit me. I went around there. It's good effort. Oh, good effort on the shot down. Oh, one strategy I like to do there, if I'm on that bottom person, I always make a flat above me so I can get behind it if need be, or just kind of pop behind it or be ready to build it. Oh, all right. This is going to be our last box fight, and then we're going to switch to East for a couple. Everybody go for Coach Doty first. Only the Black Knight first. Don't get anybody else. Everybody versus me to start. You can find me. I'll stand over here. Don't get anybody else. Only the Black Knight. Ah. Oh. All right, it's free for all. Free for all. 3, 2, 1, go. Ah. Oh, it happens. Oh, all right. All right, we're gonna hop back to lobby. If you guys want to stay for a couple of East box fights, you're welcome to. Leave creative, please. A lot of times I can't build, although sometimes it is lag and it's the game. A lot of the times it's actually just crosshair placement, I've noticed. So you're placing in a spot where it isn't the right spot, the spot you wanted it to, or just a spot you actually can't even build that because it's not connected. Mm, yeah, or they have something there that you can't see. All right, switching it to east for a couple. Oh wow, they changed settings a little. Okay. And when you what? I'm not familiar with that one. Drafty, could you ready up, please? Drafty. Chicken. All right, Drafty, please ready up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you want to invite back Drafty, just let me know. I'm gonna have to kick you so we can keep this going. Chicken, can you ready up, please? Yeah, sure. Oh, Chicken with his custom skin, looking pretty great. That's a cool one. All right, we'll end on 3 box fight tournaments. Let's see if we can get it. Or actually, it didn't work before, so maybe not. Well, and nice, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, it's on me, on me. Ah, welcome to inviting him back. All right, I'm hopping in this box fight zone war. All right, it's all good. Gonna be good practice to work on high ping. Nice, nice. At 5. Ooh, must be nice, must be nice. Right, let's do it. Whoever hopped in first, can you press E or start it up? Thank you. Sometimes it doesn't let you. All right, get ready, set. We're going free for all this time. Free for all. Oh my. I panicked. I panicked. Let's watch myself panic on stream. Right there, I panicked. Oh. Good fight, good fight. Chicken, one thing I noticed there, you did not crouch at all during that fight. We talked about how that crouch can be so huge when strafe fighting and like in that type of fight. So that might be one thing. I don't know. Maybe it was just that fight, but could be one thing you might want to work on. That was me. Good fight. Good fight. Hello. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Gotta keep it chill. So here, I'll show that straight I was talking about. This is the one I like to do if I'm super low ground. Thank you. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Oh. So that's a classic thing you see in zone wars. Sometimes like wanting, going for height. Like obviously height is a huge advantage, but in that type of situation, 1v1, one person's super high up, one person's super low. If you have mats, I think the low person actually has the advantage there. Oh, who made that? Good effort, Ducky. That push was definitely bold. I mean, once I hit that 180, it's a whole different fight, but not much you could do there. Yeah, I gotta appreciate that. He didn't give up. Alright, so this is an example of me trying to get away to force a fight with other people. Like I was right in the mix there. I didn't know exactly where everybody was. So I hop out, I get away, and I can rotate and try and make them fight. Oh, I already thought I had you weak enough. Hey, Drafty. Do you need an invite back? That was a good example. Watch him strafe. I mean, he did a good job strafing during that. Oh, sorry to hear that, Drafty. All good. It happens. So right now I'm using my peek through my unfinished builds to see where he's at. Good effort, Zenetics. So Zenetics, I kind of know what you did there. You decided that I don't want to go for that guy. I can't really get that guy in height right now. I have to get this guy quickly on low ground, which probably was the right move. It was either that or rotate. So definitely smart move, but not much I can do there. I timed it up well. Oh, who's trying to do whoa? Oh, nice shoot reset there. Oh, good timing by Zenetics right there. He timed out that reset and that movement to push. The timing was perfect as it relates to what this other player was doing. Because your timing is, it's not about what you do. It's about what you do related to what this other player does in any sport. Although timing is, I mean, in part, it's what you're doing. But in the whole, it's what you're doing as it relates to what they're doing. All right, last two. We'll do this zone wars and then end on that box fight. Panic build, panic build. All right, so right now I got two guys above me. Hopefully they didn't hear that, but good move down by him. So this is an example of seeing where he is. Oh, oh, good fight, Sinex. Yeah, I play a little bit of COD. I'm not a big fan of it. All right, last box fight, free for all, final one. Thanks again for everyone stopping in. Oh, nice, nice. Sorry, chicken. Snuck up on you there. Esports Camp with the oof in chat. It's all good. There's so many factors that can do that. I noticed 2 days ago I did not sleep very well, and my reaction time was slower, and that's just kind of like a scientific fact that your aim, your reaction time will be slower. Ah, so that can lead to overtraining. A lot of people kind of don't believe in that idea. It's a tough one to grasp, but you can be training too much. You can be like almost damaging your muscles in a way. Also, just mentally. Uh, Thank you, thank you. All right, we're gonna end on that. Really appreciate everybody stopping in. The surveys in chat. Next week we'll be covering a different topic. Oh, human performance camp on Friday to learn pregame warm-ups and get your body and mind ready to play. Cool. I love it. Yeah. All right, next week we'll touch a little bit on nutrition. And if you have any specific strategies you want to work on for next week or ideas, questions, is always great. All right. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.